Do you know someone who's insightful but never really speaks up? Sometimes the most influential leaders are the ones that go unnoticed. They're your everyday people. They may be your neighbors, your peers, or even yourself. Though they may be unnoticed until now, these everyday people will be unmuted through this project. This show will feature some of Knoxville's most standout leaders, including faculty, staff, students, and anyone in the area. We will figure out the tricks to becoming a standout leader, an impactful community member, and ultimately, someone that leaves people better than they found them. I'm Grant Thornham, and I believe the best stories are already silently being told. Now, all they have to do is be unmuted. All right, everybody. Well, welcome back to another episode of Unmuted. This will probably be episode 3. And today I am, grateful to have someone that I don't know well super personally, but excited to get to know you more during this episode. So, Ashlyn, go ahead and take it away. Introduce yourself a little bit.
Yeah, hi everybody. My name is Ashlyn Sutton. I'm a current sophomore here at UTK. I'm a biology major on a pre-med track, and I have a double minor in Hispanic Studies / Spanish, as well as philosophy of science and medicine. So yeah, I'm currently involved in Student Government Association, involved in clinic vols a little bit, and yeah, I'm just super excited to be here.
Yeah, thank you for coming on the show. And I'm curious to start off. I really am interested in the balance and the reasoning of why you chose biology and why you went down the pre-med track, because that's really hard by itself.
Yeah.
And then you try and balance, SGA and other stuff. That's hard to do. So touch on that a little bit.
Yeah, so I had heart surgery at 9 years old. I had a condition known as coarctasia of the aorta. It's a congenital heart disease. Spent 6 days in the intensive care unit at Vanderbilt Children's Hospital, and then I spent another 3 days in like the regular care unit. But I've had the opportunity to be able to go and have like a shadowing internship with them, like over my breaks, and be able to acquire like 200 clinical hours
Wow.
and volunteer hours, which has been amazing. Grateful to God for that, because not everybody gets that opportunity. But yeah, that's like been the reason why I want to go down that path, and I just want to help kids that were in the same shoes as I was, and I've been able to already do that. I feel like already, but just excited for what the future holds for me in that aspect of healthcare, and because that's what I'm super passionate about.
Yeah, absolutely. So what does the shadowing look like when you step into the hospital and you're racking up all these hours? How are you able to help those kids or patients?
Yeah, I help my patients by just being able to be there before they're under anesthesia, being able to comfort them, being able to comfort families before, during, and after procedures. I'm typically not in too intensive of cases, so it's like maybe like 2 3 hour long, like labs, procedures, everything else. But it's super cool to witness because that's my future career that I'm
Mm-hmm.
looking at. But yeah, but being able to help relieve my patients, relieve the families, and calm their nerves is what's truly beneficial of seeing it. Because I know my mother, whenever I was going through what I went through, was nervous, crying,
Mm-hmm.
all the things, and so was I, because I didn't know what was going on at the time. But yeah, I think that's like the most beneficial thing that's came out of it, is being able to impact those lives.
Yeah, it's incredible to hear that you've kind of transitioned what you went through and then going
Yeah,
to help other people.
yeah,
It's very inspirational.
yeah.
What was the recovery process for you when you ended up getting that surgery?
Yeah, so my recovery was 6 days in intensive care unit. I had an epidural, so I couldn't walk because they didn't know how I'd come out of anesthesia,
Mm.
and they didn't want me to be like flailing around
Mm-hmm.
and then me hurt something, like me hurt my heart again, or like me, like just something could happen. So yeah, I had to relearn how to walk, which was actually a very interesting experience. But it was a lot of hard work to do.
Mm-hmm.
It took like 2 days to like relearn how to like walk, get my balance, everything else again. Um, and then everything else was pretty normal. I felt like that was the only thing that was pretty difficult about it. And then having to go back for like checkups, get blood drawn to make sure everything was okay, and checking my blood pressure like every hour just about. But other than that, it was pretty chill. Like I really
Okay.
like I would recommend Vanderbilt and like who like what I went through. like every nurse, every like physician that like came across my path made it super, super helpful.
Right. And I'm assuming they're very well known for the care that they take for their
Yes,
patients.
super renowned, super intentional with their patients, which is another thing that's inspired me to go into healthcare was their intentionality, their attitude towards their patients and the families. That's like what inspired me as well, was seeing that.
Absolutely. So I guess my question for you is, how did that experience of going through that, and I'm sure that's a very difficult experience. How did that lead into kind of how you've taken on leadership today and how you've experienced your college lifestyle and how you got involved with all this stuff? Like, what was there a part of it that motivated you to do all of that, or?
Yeah, I wanted to get more into leadership positions and being able to be as involved as I can, because I want to make little Ashlyn, like the Ashlyn that was in that hospital bed, proud
Mm,
and making like decisions and improving myself to where she would be proud today to see
mm-hmm.
where I am. And that's what's been the inspiration for me wanting to be in leadership, wanting me to be involved, wanting me to pursue like the career path I want to go into and like my major and just being as involved as I can. That's been the main thing is just making 9-year-old Ashlyn proud and making my mother proud, making my stepdad proud and my whole family proud about it.
Absolutely. Which I'm sure you've already made them very proud
I hope
up
so.
to this point.
But yeah,
Okay.
that's definitely why.
Yeah. So when you came in as a freshman last year, what did that look like for you? Because I know some people really get involved very quickly. For me, it wasn't like that. It took time for me to realize what was out there. So what did that journey look like for you getting involved with things, and if you had some leadership stuff going on as a freshman?
Yeah, I didn't get super involved within my first semester really, so I definitely relate on that standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a first generation college student, so I
Mm,
also didn't know where to start. I felt like, especially going to such a big university, because
right.
I didn't expect to come here honestly. UT was not my first choice coming here. I expected to go somewhere like Vanderbilt or Belmont because I'm from Nashville, so I
Mm-hmm.
thought I was going to stay close to home. But then I chose UT because I fell in love with the campus. I fell in love with the atmosphere, the student life. I fell in love with the department here,
Mm-hmm.
like, and it was such a great college for my major. Um, Again, did not expect to choose it. And then whenever I toured here, fell in love with it. Shout out Kenzie West, my tour guide. Still friends with her today. Um, but yeah, didn't expect it. But again, wasn't super involved my first semester. I got into Vault-On, which is the largest student ran philanthropy organization on campus. Shout out. Um, Raises hundreds of thousands of dollars for East Tennessee Children's Hospital and Children's Miracle Network as a whole. And that was my first step, I felt like, into UT and like
Mm,
the student organizations. Um, and again, fell in love with it, fell in love with the mission. And then student government was not something I actually expected to get involved in. I didn't think I would because in high school I did student council, honor society, beta club, all the things. I thought I was done with it and done with that realm of like leadership and everything. But just like it kind of happened my freshman year. Um, some friends encouraged me to run for Senate my freshman year. I got it, fell in love with it, fell in love with the organization, made some great friendships and connections out of it, and so we're here today. I reran about a couple weeks ago, won again. Um, Grateful to God for winning again. Grateful for everybody who supported me during that time. Grateful for everybody's vote. Um, but yeah, I'm just here and I love SGA. If you need to get involved, let me know. DM me, text me, whatever.
wow, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
And congratulations on your reelection.
Thank you.
That's huge. So, for the people that don't know, what is your current role? And you're representing the College of Arts and Sciences.
Correct.
What does your role look like as a part of the Senate? And, some things that people might not know about your role.
Yeah. So like you said, I'm an undergraduate senator for the College of Arts and Sciences. In Senate, we're supposed to be a representation of our college, and we meet bi-weekly to pass legislation. We can work on legislation that supports our college or any aspect of UT, really. But Yeah, and I feel like that's something that people don't know is like we helped pass that legislation.
Mm-hmm.
We helped write it. We are very in contact with like faculty about it. We're in contact with a lot of staff, which is also great because we get to build those connections and build those relationships through SGA and this UT faculty, which is great. I think that we need more of it. And it's continuing to build, and that relationship is continuing to build, and it's great. I've gotten to talk to a lot of faculty that I wouldn't expect to be able to talk to or have like a personal relationship with, which has been great.
That's really cool.
Yes.
Especially because a lot of them I'm sure you wouldn't have met otherwise too.
Yes.
Right? And so developing those new connections, that's
Yes.
exciting.
Yes. No, it's been great. Again, get involved if you can. Get to meet a lot of great people, get to make a lot of great connections. So yeah. Definitely recommend it.
Yeah, so what is the let's touch on now that you've kind of described the role. I think a lot of something that I've realized is leadership involves a lot of communication.
Correct.
And it sounds like your role is a lot of communication
Yes.
and back and forth between a lot of different groups. So, I mean, touch on your experience. Just how has this so far advanced your skills as a leader, and what different experiences have compiled to advance those?
Yeah. My leadership position in student government's given me a lot of skills that I've been able to build on. I think since like getting into student government, I didn't know even how to write a proper email. But whenever it came to talking to like faculty and everything, I had to learn really fast how to write a proper email, or talking to the president or vice president, or our exec cabinet or president's cabinet, or even to just fellow co-senators. Just having that level of professionalism and being able to have that interpersonal skills has been something that's I've helped develop over my time in Senate. At first it was difficult just because I didn't hold a leadership position like that in the past. And yeah, definitely has helped me build those skills, and has helped me build like communication skills and interpersonal skills for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's showing up as a professional every day.
Yes, yes.
Which is
We have
that's
to be very
valuable.
professional, which again has been super helpful. Being able to build those skills, being able how to dress business casual. It's just like simple things that you wouldn't think of that you learn just in a position like that. I feel like.
Absolutely. Yeah, okay. So as you touched on that, how would you define, because we've talked about leadership and the skills associated with it, what does it look like for you? When you hear the word leadership, what does it mean to you? What does it look like from people that you've seen? And then how do you kind of try and how do you show that you're a leader in your position and just on a daily basis?
Yeah, for me to be a leader is where the posture of your heart stands. It's the attitude that you carry. I think having simple leadership skills is being able to hold the door open for somebody and being able to have proper manners whenever talking to somebody. I believe being a leader is the way you carry yourself, and just having that confidence, being able to go into a room and being able to talk to anybody, and having good conversations with people and being able to build those relationships with people. I think that's a lot of leadership, and being able to serve people in the way that they need to be served, and being able to serve your student body, being able to serve your coworkers if you're at a job, being able to serve your faculty even, and being able to help them. Just that, I feel like that's how leadership should be and how it should be defined, I feel like. And then what was the other part of your question?
I think the back end was kind of how you show it on a daily basis,
Yeah,
what you aim to do.
kind of like what I said, just showing simple actions, like holding the door open, buying your friend a coffee, buying your friend lunch maybe, using proper manners whenever you're talking to your teacher, or like being able again to like go in a room and have a conversation with anybody and make them feel seen and make them feel heard, because that's something that I'm very big on, is making people feel heard and acknowledged in any conversation I have with them, because I feel like there's not enough of that in the world right now. And be the love that you need to see, that you want to see in the world.
Absolutely. I love that.
Yeah.
I want to touch on that more actually, because that seems to be kind of something that's lost in our generation.
Yes.
And, I struggle with it too sometimes, but just having the constant distraction of your phone
Yes.
and
I agree.
being on social media, I think really it's making it worse in terms of social interaction. I think
Yes.
when our generation, when we're talking to people, we get a notification, we might interrupt that conversation to
Yeah.
look at it. Small things like that, just as you mentioned, are kind of harder to come by nowadays. So my question is, how do you go into a room and talk to anybody? What allows you to do that? How can someone begin to do that themselves, or what do they need to do that in the future?
Yeah. I think that just being able to say hi to somebody honestly, which I feel like so many people don't do
Mm,
nowadays. I feel like so many people meet on social media and then meet in person.
right.
And I mean, I'm guilty of meeting people that way too, but I mean, the best conversations are the ones that you have in person and are able to see like facial expressions
Mm-hmm.
and tone of voice and everything else, because I feel like that's been lost in translation so much with social media, has been your tone, your again, facial expressions, like stuff like that, to have like that raw authentic conversation with somebody. And I feel like that art has been lost truly in our generation, and I feel like it should come back because I feel like we need it a lot more than ever.
I agree. It's so interesting. I love touching on the social media stuff, but if you could, here's the logic, right? If we can sit down right now, even though we're 2 feet across from each
Yeah.
other, we could go have 5 conversations with 5 random people right now,
Yeah,
and it would be
exactly.
easy to do.
You could open your DMs and message somebody while I'm talking to you, or open Snapchat, open TikTok, scroll your reels, or anything like that. And then that kind of defeats the purpose of having like that conversation.
Right.
Like I could get on my phone right now and just open up Snapchat and start snapping people while like we're having a conversation. Or I could open Instagram and scroll my reels, answer my DMs. I could open TikTok and slide and
Right.
send reels to my friends while we're having that conversation. But one, it's disrespectful. I feel like a lot of it, and I've been guilty of it because none of us are perfect, of like answering my phone in the middle of a conversation. I feel like we've all been there. Um, but it kind of defeats that purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And it's not even, sorry, I didn't want to paint it like I
no,
could do that right now as I'm
no,
talking to
no.
you, but even the fact that,
But it's just like it happens
right,
like
we could have kept our
all the time.
relationship fully online, but
Exactly.
instead of that, we met in person,
Yes.
and then you actually, like you said, we did meet through social media,
Yes.
but there's a balance between it.
Yes.
There's meeting online, but then you also have to be able to say hi to people you don't
Yeah,
know.
and being able to have that conversation like we're having right now, and talking before this and after and everything else, and being able to have that interpersonal connection and those skills.
Yeah, I think it's vastly important. Honestly, I think that is something that makes you a leader in our generation.
Thank you.
Is that if you're able to do that, which you clearly are, and you care about people,
Yes.
that's something that helps you stand out because unfortunately it is becoming more uncommon to see that.
Yes, which is unfortunate. But I do want to shout out our current student body president, Chase Darwin. I want to shout out Caroline Marcus, who's our current elect. I want to shout out our presidential cabinet, our vice presidents from this year and our coming up year. They have been doing great with being able to build those interpersonal connections and being able to talk to people one on one, face to face.
Mm,
I think that's also been an inspiration of mine, is being able to see all of them do it. And being able to have those like real raw authentic conversations with people, rather than it just being a social media game,
absolutely.
which has been such an inspiration. And that's another reason why I fell in love with the SGA, because we're able to have those real conversations in person.
Yeah, and it just seems like it's a good community to learn from, right? If you're
Yes.
learning from the upperclassmen that have already done it, then you can kind of pick up on what they're doing to make yourself better, and
Yeah,
so that seems really cool
it's
as well.
definitely, I've been definitely taking a lot of pointers from Chase, Caroline, Annabeth, Ella, and then Campbell, Kate, and then the rest, like the cabinet and
Yeah,
exec, being able to like take skills that they have and like help myself build on it. Again, like face to face conversations, answering an email properly, respect, and being able to compose yourself in a proper manner, and being a face for the university for sure.
absolutely. Yeah, and to them, if they're seeing this, I know I haven't gotten a chance to meet most of you, but if you're seeing this, I would love to meet you guys, whatever setting that looks like,
Yes.
because it's been great to meet you
Yeah.
and Chase in the last few weeks. But no, I think that is really good insight to start this episode off with.
Yes.
I want to transition to get to know you more personally. I'm
Yeah.
sure they're dying to hear it too, But Ashlyn, tell me a little bit about yourself. Like what kind of drives your day to day? What do you like to do on your free time when you have it?
Yeah. I have a lot more free time than people think I do. Which is a blessing, honestly, being able to sit and reflect on myself and reflect on my day. A lot of like my hobbies, I like to cook, which has honestly been super
Mm.
therapeutic. Being able to cook like healthy, good meals, and being able to like de-stress by doing it. Going to the gym like 2 to 3 times a week has been super great. Being able to like de-stress myself, de-stress my mind.
Hmm.
And just being able to work on myself, which has been a super big thing I've been trying to work on like these past like couple months, and everything else, which has been great. And that's like a lot of what I do in my free time. I mean, studying, bio
Right.
major,
Right.
but yeah, that's probably what I do a lot in my free time. And then whenever I'm home, I typically work, but I love to work. It's like driven in me. I feel like I've been working since I was 15 years old. Um, so yeah, work. Hang out with my family whenever I'm home.
Of course.
Love my family. Shout out mom. Shout out Todd, my stepdad. Um, and shout out Dolly, my wiener dog. But she's
Oh,
great. But yeah.
okay.
So yeah, shout out my family.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Where do you work back home?
So I just got a job over the summer in Nashville. I'm gonna be a health lodge assistant at a YMCA day camp, which is super fun. Get clinical hours for doing it. But I was a camp counselor my last summer. So I'm just working at a different location and a different position. But I get clinical hours for medical school, which is great.
Huge.
Huge. Yes,
Huge.
needed. But yeah, no, like I'm super excited. I'm super excited to meet my coworkers, everything else. Super excited for my summer. Um, but yeah,
Wow, that's amazing. It seems like an incredible opportunity. So,
yes, yes.
congratulations.
Thank you.
Get to earn the hours too, which I know is
Yes,
huge for you.
needed
You
for
need. Are they
sure.
required to get into medical school, or is it? I forget.
Said unsaid,
Right.
yes.
Right.
And I mean the range depends on the school. I feel like I'm trying to go to Vanderbilt or Belmont personally, but again, I'm going to be applying for like 20 in one cycle.
Right.
So, and then studying for my MCAT like in a year,
Yep.
and like taking my MCAT and everything else. Your MCAT and your GPA matter the most, I feel like, but being able to have a good essay and being able to have a good amount of hours and quality hours, I feel
Mm-hmm.
like that's like also like matters just as much.
Right. Absolutely. Well, that'll be great. I'm sure that opportunity will
Yes,
provide
super
you.
excited.
Yeah. And then in terms of the cooking, I'm interested in
Oh
that.
my
So
gosh.
when did you start to
Yes.
cook?
I actually started to cook in middle school.
Wow.
But yeah, like my mom enrolled me in like cooking camp, like
Really?
going into my 8th grade year. Yeah. Um, but I mean that kind of like sparked my love for it, I feel like. But I didn't get to cooking more until like I got in an apartment here, cause like living in a freshman dorm, you obviously like can't
Yeah.
cook. Like
Yeah.
it's
It's
not
pretty impossible.
it's pretty impossible unless you're doing like mac and cheese in a cup, like
Right.
in your microwave.
Right.
But yeah, no, like I love to cook. I've cooked so much. Like I've cooked like pasta. My roommates can attest because my roommates try my food sometimes.
Okay.
So yeah, I cook like pasta. I've cooked like poke bowls. I've made like everything, I feel like.
Yeah.
But yeah, super fun, super like therapeutic way. Also like just teaches you like more hands-on skills, I feel
Mm.
like. Um,
Got to learn how to chop an onion,
no, for real. Yeah, it's actually like basic knowledge you need like for adulthood because
Yeah,
like
it is.
once you like I mean in college like yeah, like you can probably get away with like not cooking much, but like in adulthood I feel like you're going to have to like carry it on. Like if you have like a family, spouse, like
Yeah.
everything else, like you're probably going to want to have at least basic skills on that.
Yeah.
But
Your boy is not not well versed in cooking, bro.
yeah.
Like
I mean,
it's a struggle.
so
I got to start at some point. So,
honestly, Instagram Reels like has some really good recipes.
okay.
And like it actually like, will teach you like sometimes like how to like do basic stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Well, that
look
could
at
be good.
Reels. Look at Reels, everybody, if you want to learn how to cook as well.
Okay. I love that
Yeah.
advice. Okay, so after you've cooked since freaking middle school, what's your favorite dish to make?
honestly, I made this like grilled chicken, like pesto Alfredo a
Oh
couple nights
man.
ago, and it was super good. And my roommates can attest because I also made homemade garlic bread with it
Yeah,
on sourdough
that's
because sourdough is like the
wonderful.
healthiest bread like you can get. Hack. Um, but yeah, that's probably like the best thing I've cooked so far, and that was literally like last week.
Yeah. Well, you're
But
just constantly getting better is what
that's
that
true.
means.
This is true.
Wow, that's crazy. What
But yeah,
was your mom or dad a big cook and they taught you how, or were you self-taught?
mom, if you see this, no.
Just
But
no.
no. No, my stepdad cooks like a lot.
Mm,
Cooks like most meals, but he enjoys it as well. Like he likes to do it. It's not like
yeah.
he's forced to.
Right.
Shout out Todd with your cooking. Um, yeah, he's a big like Blackstone like grill dad, which
Absolutely. Need that.
valid.
You
Yes.
need that
So
sometimes.
yeah, that's like his happy place also like whenever it comes to cooking, but yeah, it's mostly my stepdad that cooks.
Okay, so what do you think you enjoy the most about it when you're cooking, and how does it relieve the stress for you?
I just like knowing what's going into my body, I feel like whenever it comes to cooking,
Mm,
because again, like I've like taken on health like more seriously like these
mm-hmm.
past couple months just because I've always struggled with health issues as a child and like teens and early adulthood, like everything else. So I that's like something I've been trying to take like seriously for the past like couple months, like since like the beginning of the year basically. But yeah, and just being able to like know like that's something I can always improve is like learning how to cook.
Mm-hmm.
And just cooking in general. I feel like it's just something that you can always improve on. Learn new stuff. And that's a big thing is I love to learn and I feel like cooking like it's like endless like on what you can
Oh yeah.
learn. Which is great. And that's a great way for me to like expand like my knowledge and my array of knowledge. And it also helps me learn about different cultures. It helps me learn about different cuisines and everything else.
Right.
Cuz like going to like I think that also connects to healthcare, which is super odd. But it's like healthcare I've dealt with an array of cultures, like and cultures like I would never see, like
Mm,
or think I would never see.
mm-hmm.
And also cooking also correlates into that, which is super weird, but it's super cool. Um, being able to learn about different cultures like cooking and then being able to like correlate that with like my healthcare experience and who I've met.
Absolutely. Have you cooked a bunch of different cuisines?
I've cooked Mediterranean, I've cooked Italian, I've cooked South American.
Okay.
I mean, I've cooked American food,
Yep.
obviously. Let's see. I've cooked Chinese, Japanese, Korean. I've
Wow.
cooked I'm trying to think of what else.
That's great. That
Yeah.
that by itself is already impressive.
Yeah.
So we're gonna
I'm like but yeah, no, just like also just like learning about it. I think it's such a good way of like learning about the world
absolutely.
also.
Yeah, I think even you could even tie that back to leadership as well as is understanding. We talked about this last episode is understanding others, which is very
Yes.
vague. But
Yes.
in the terms that you just put it, being able to understand and reciprocate with someone else's culture, even if
Yeah.
it's not your own,
Yeah.
and being
Exactly.
able to see where that person is coming from and realize that this is important to them, whether that be food, music, traditions, that's very important. And I
Yeah.
think a really, really great leader is able to touch on each of those
Yes. And
communities.
be educated on it. Even if it's not
Absolutely.
like to your fullest extent. Like you don't have to know everything. That's also a piece of advice I want to give people. You don't have to know everything
Nobody knows
because
everything,
nobody
you
knows
know?
everything. Um but um yeah, just being able to like at least have like some ground knowledge, I feel like, and that helps like you relate to people so
Mm,
much and it helps you connect with people a lot easier. Knowing like traditions and their customs and everything else cuz like even though I'm American, I'm a Christian, stuff like that. I have friends in an array of different like ethnicities and different religions and stuff like that, and it makes you such a more well-rounded person
mm,
being able to love on those people and being
mm-hmm.
able to be friends with those people and have community with them. I feel like that's such a big thing in leadership is
Absolutely.
making connections and making friendships with people that aren't like you.
Yes. And it makes you uncomfortable,
Yes.
and that's a great thing because then you get to learn more.
Yes.
But especially from the position you're coming from, and in SGA specifically, you really do need that
Yes.
because you're representing a community bigger than yourself.
No.
So,
Yes. Yes, for sure. And this is the Christian in me talking, but in life, we're always called for the uncomfortable. We're not called to be comfortable, because that's not a Christ-like life. This is me talking to my Christians out there. And just people in general. Like, we're not called to live a comfortable life. We're called to talk to somebody that might make you uncomfortable, or might be talking to somebody that makes you mad. You might have to forgive somebody that you might not want to forgive, but that's like the life that we should live and should be called to live, I feel like. And I'm not just saying it as a Christian, I'm just saying it as human. Is just to live that type of life, and have that humility and being able to put that to use.
Absolutely. I love that. Yeah, because like you said, it's about being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Go say hi to someone you know now, sort of deal.
Putting yourself out there.
Yeah.
In the simple terms, I feel like.
Yeah, that's very important. Okay, well, we'll transition to the last segment we have here, which is kind of just a reflection on the leadership we've already touched on and the examples of it, but more so how students coming in can find their path.
Oh, yes.
Or the ones that are already here, how can they begin to see themselves as leaders? And that's really where I'll start, which is, what would you recommend for people to get involved, to start developing that ability to talk to anybody and to become a leader that they can, to see themselves as a leader as well?
Yeah, to see yourself as a leader, I'm going to talk about that first.
Okay.
Is just reflect on the way you carry yourself, because that's a lot of what I've had to do even these past few weeks, like with elections and everything, is just think about the way I carry myself and think about how I carry my reputation, how I carry the student body that I represent, and everything else. Is just thinking on that end and how can I improve myself on that, because I feel like leadership, another big component of it, is like improvement, and realizing you don't have it all together at once. You're not perfect. Nobody ever will be, and it's just not it's not realistic to be perfect, but it's realistic to improve yourself, for
Absolutely.
sure.
I love that.
So yeah, that would be my first thing, is to reflect on yourself and how you carry yourself and what can you improve on to make yourself a better person and a better leader. Getting involved wise, I would say, there's something for everybody at this university. My first step would definitely go to like VolLink. We have like 500 plus student organizations. It's crazy. So there's definitely something for everybody. It might not be student government. You might find a more niche organization that could fit you more. It might be Panhellenic. It might be IFC. It might be student government. It might be multicultural Greek council. It might be a D9. It could be anything like that. That you might find your leadership and might find your people in. You could start something for yourself. That's always an option, is finding your own student organization. I know people that have, and they've ran with it and became successful with it.
Right.
So yeah, you don't always have to follow the path of people. You can always create something new.
Absolutely. I love that advice. And yeah, it is easy. People don't know about VolLink.
Yes.
Until you get here, but
yeah.
I think that is a valuable resource to start it.
It definitely is, because it's like alphabetical, I think, or you can filter it like to where you need it. And being able to look at the details of each organization, the name, everything else, how to join, if there's like a recruitment process or application or anything like that. So yeah, that's like my first step would definitely go onto VolLink and seeing like what organizations there are. It might take you a second, because like I said, there's like 500 plus,
right.
But definitely just going through that.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I want to relate that actually to a story, like a short story I have, which is, I think once you get involved in an organization, especially during your first year, you're more of a member, right?
Yes.
But as you move forward, those leadership positions do become available.
Yes.
And it becomes, if you're, someone that goes consistently, it becomes a little bit easier to squeeze your way into an exec role, and now you're dealing with stuff that a leader would.
Yes.
I'm a part of Project Inspire, which is a Haslam podcast. And last year was my first year doing it. Yeah. I got in second semester. That was kind of the first thing I ever got involved with.
Gotcha.
And I was a researcher, which means I would write the questions for the
Gotcha.
episodes.
Gotcha.
This year has been a complete turn on the head. And sometimes you're called to be a leader when you're not expecting to.
This is true.
And this year especially has been like our two seniors that are both hosts. One of them graduated in the spring.
Gotcha.
The other one graduates this fall. And so then, honestly, without it really being said, like a lot of that work starts falling on
Yes.
my co-host and myself. And now it's like, now I find myself in a position I
Yeah.
didn't think I was going to be in.
Yeah.
But it teaches you a lot.
Yes.
And I'm sure you have similar experience with that.
Yes.
But I think the main thing is once you are involved, that a lot of those opportunities start to open up
Yes.
more.
Yes. Definitely. Whenever you get like involved in an organization, yes, I feel like it does become easier to like build, like get higher up in like the leadership, like hierarchy, I guess. Um, but yeah, I think with a lot of organizations, yeah, I feel like that's a lot of how it works. And definitely another way that helps is like getting connected with like your current exec of like the organization you're in. Whether you're in student government and in a sorority, fraternity, etc. Definitely like get to know your exec, because like once that time comes around and you're looking at applying or running or whatever you want to do, then you have somebody to talk to about that.
Right.
And like what it took for them to get into that position.
Absolutely.
And what they did in their position, and like you can see what you can do to make it better, and to improve your organization, improve the members, and everything else. I feel like that's such a great way, and that's like another example is like your story, of that is just. And another thing with leadership is like adaptability, because again, like your exec is going to change in every organization you get into here, because nobody's here forever.
Right.
You're gonna have different exec. It's gonna change. And you have to look on the positive side of things. I feel like if you're not like in a exec position, but I feel like the change is always gonna be positive for the most part, or it gives you an opportunity to make something positive out of it.
Absolutely.
And just being able to carry the torch and run with it, honestly.
Yeah, I love that. I think the best leaders are the ones that are able to look at things from a positive
Yes.
perspective.
Yes.
I mean, there are times when you need to be able to look at something for what it is.
Yes.
And,
I agree.
this is bad.
Yes.
But find a way to come out
Yes. Being
from the
able
light
to,
side.
yes, holding things like holding things and people accountable. Yes, for sure, and pointing out what something is for something, what something is. But being able to switch that and turn it into a beneficial or like positive outlook is so crucial, I feel like. Because yeah, because if you dwell on the negative, then that's just gonna build and build and build, and
Absolutely.
then soon like your whole tower is gonna crumble.
Right.
And then you're gonna have to rebuild from square one if you let that negativity consume an organization or consume a group, or whatever. And if you let that crumple and then you have to rebuild from square one, then that's not good.
Yeah.
And then a house can't stand alone or on a shifty foundation is what I've heard. And it's true. You can't have a house built out of sand. You have to have a strong foundation. And I feel like that foundation is the members of the group. And if the members of the group aren't working together and working in unity, then your whole house is going to crumble. It's going to shift away. It's going to topple over. So yeah, definitely making sure I'm not saying they have to be happy with each other, but I'm definitely saying that they need to work together and work for the good of the organization instead of each other.
Absolutely.
And that's another thing is like working in unity. And I feel like that's another thing that we've lost in this generation and in leadership in general. So
it's an interesting point of view.
Yeah. I just feel like people just need to start working together, setting aside differences. I feel like forgiveness is a lost subject in this generation, but that's another subject for another time.
Yeah. I think, and I wouldn't be able to, from your point of view, that's very interesting to hear. Which, I don't know, kind of ties into the next question for you, which is, during the times where it is difficult, maybe you're not working as a team as well, if that's ever happened, but within your role in the Senate, what inspires you to keep going when things get difficult. And that's not even just your role in the Senate.
Yeah.
That could go all the way back to 9 years old when you,
Yeah.
what inspires you to keep going after those hard times.
Kind of like what I said before, thinking of how I was like back then and thinking of how I was as a kid, even thinking of how I was like a year and a half ago. Like back then, I wouldn't think I would change the way I have been. I wouldn't think I would have changed as a person and changed like my outlook on life and changing my mindset. And that's what inspires me, is knowing that I can always improve on something better, and improving on other points of my life. Like I feel like I've improved within like the past like 2 weeks and 3 weeks, because again, stuff happens. We all fall short. It happens. It's human. But waking up in the morning and knowing that I can always improve on something else about myself is what inspires me to wake up in the morning.
I love that. Just the continuous strive to be better.
Yes.
Yeah.
And again, there's no set standard of perfection except for Christ. But there's always room to become the best version of yourself.
Absolutely. I love that. And, it leads into my last question, Ashlyn, which is kind of what's next for you? Where do you want to go next and as a student, as a leader, and how can the leadership skills you've already developed get you there, do you think?
Yeah, I just want to be higher in leadership in the organizations I'm a part of, hopefully in the not near future, just in the future, I guess, and just becoming and being able to use my knowledge and my skills to make an impact on our university before I graduate, because that's my set goal at the University of Tennessee, is just to make the most positive impact that I can on the student body, on our campus, and our faculty, and I just hope to be able to do that by the time I graduate. So
Absolutely.
and that's 2 more years. So
Yeah, which is crazy to say.
It's crazy because I feel like I started here literally like yesterday,
Yeah.
and now I'm about to go into my junior year, which is insane.
I know.
Which 2 years is a long and short amount of time at the same time,
Right.
which is crazy.
Especially in college.
Yes,
Short
especially
time.
in college. Yes, it is flown by. Like since I've started, it's been crazy. Again, felt like I started here like yesterday.
Yeah.
I feel like I graduated high school like a week ago.
Right.
Like it's crazy. But yeah, for sure, just wanting to get higher in leadership to make a better impact on our university and our student body for sure is like my goal and what I want to do for the future and what I want to do by the time I graduate. Hopefully try out some new organizations by next year, get involved a little bit more on campus, in places I see fit for myself, which will be super exciting once the time comes.
Right.
But yeah, for sure. That's like my goal by the end of graduation and for just the future in itself.
I love that. Yeah.
Yes.
And if everyone were to come together and if everyone had the same goal, right, to make as big of an impact as they could.
Yes.
Which I think is possible. Amazing things would happen.
Yeah.
And you're already doing so much great work in the position you're in. So it's great. That's wonderful to hear.
Thank you.
But, as we wrap up, is there anything else you'd like to touch on, or if you want to, shout out some places people can get in touch with you?
Yeah. My Instagram is at ashlyn.b.sutton. Follow me, message me. My DMs are open. I answer everybody within a good amount of time. I try to at least. And then I'm very active on LinkedIn.
Okay.
So just connect with me on LinkedIn.
Love that.
Honestly. But yeah, there's like where you can get in touch with me. Like basically, that's about it. And
Okay.
then I'm not gonna give out my phone number. That's a little
valid.
bit too personal.
That's valid.
But yeah, follow me on Instagram, DM me on Instagram, or connect with me on LinkedIn. That's basically like almost all the social media I like use consistently.
I love that. Are we
I have
connected
Facebook,
on
but
LinkedIn?
that's it. I think we are.
We better
Honestly,
be.
I have like 5,000 people on LinkedIn.
Do you really?
Yes.
Yo, you're insane.
I've been farming on it.
Holy, you have been farming. Like what?
Yeah.
So are you the one sending them out, or at this point are you just?
It's been about equal.
Yeah, fitty.
Honestly, whenever I send them out, it's typically to people either like I already know,
right,
like friends, people in student government, people within the same like college as me, and people within the same like major and like field or like on a pre-med track like I am. Just because like I feel like that helps build a community of people. And like I don't see my LinkedIn as just like a number. Like I see it as like people like I can connect with, act like in real like
Yeah,
people I could actually connect with. People
absolutely.
could come to me with advice. I could come to somebody else like asking for advice. Because even though like I don't have everything together and neither does everybody else. Um, Making connections for like potential internships, stuff like that. And then one of my friends said pre-meds don't need LinkedIn.
Mm,
You do. You do. Like there's so many internships and research opportunities on LinkedIn that people don't realize.
right.
So yeah, like utilize it to your advantage because what's the harm? Like
Absolutely.
it's fun. It's a great way for people to see you, for you to see other people. Just have fun with it.
Yeah,
But yeah, connect with me on LinkedIn, follow me on Instagram. It's like basically all I use.
I
So
love that.
yeah,
I mean, at the end of the day, every connection on LinkedIn is someone that you can reach out to
exactly.
and, ask for help or mentorship, whatever
Exactly.
it is.
Exactly. Like I have so many medical school connections on my LinkedIn. I have a ton of people from Vanderbilt because of where I do my shadowing at. And just like being able to make those connections. And again, like making those connections, like you don't have to be pre-med like I am. You can be in Haslam, you can be in
Mm-hmm.
CCI, you can be in CEHHS and still like get those connections for whether it's graduate school, whether it's for a future job, everything else. Um, I use it more for medical school purposes.
Right.
And connecting with physicians, which has also been great. I'm connected with a lot of physicians from renowned hospitals, which has been great. Have one from Harvard, which is
Wow,
very
there we
interesting.
go.
Yeah, but yeah, and he works at Vanderbilt, and he
Awesome.
was another person that I got to shadow under. But yeah, he like went to Harvard. Shout out Dr. Kuntz. And shout out Dr. Jansen, which is my cardiologist who literally saved my life. Been like one of the biggest impacts on my life. Um, but yeah, just again, make those connections. Talk to people. Like I feel like it's a lost art these days. Is the art of conversation.
I love that. Well,
So
maybe that'll be maybe part of the title is the art
the
of
art of
conversation.
conversation
I love that. Could be good.
could be good.
Well, I really appreciate you taking the time out of your
Yeah,
day to
thank you for having
have
me
a
on here. It's been
conversation.
great. Finally
Yeah.
being able to coordinate
Yeah.
and
It's been fun,
yes, it's been fun.
insightful, all
Yes.
good things.
Yes.
Well, to them, thank you guys
Yes.
thank you for tuning in to another episode of Unmuted. Again, this is the beginning of a journey, and grateful that you were able to come on and be a part of the start.
Yeah. Thank you for
So,
having me.
make sure you guys follow the social accounts. That's where all the clips will be posted and, episode information. So stay tuned for that. Subscribe, do all that, like, comment, all that good stuff. But grateful for you guys tuning in to another episode. And with that being said, we're out.